Diamond.
Souls.
Love.
How's it going, everybody? As you all know, we recently just went through our 12 rules, described each one, made a video of each one. Now we're going to open it up for a forum of discussion with topics. So our first topic, we thought it would be suiting to talk about, the direction we're heading with this thing, what we intend for it, what our purpose is, and how we came up with it. So, you want to tell them anything, Travis?
Yes, starting out, it's just basically how we come up with it, in forms of how we met also. It was, I was talking to Cody one day just about how my life was in addiction when I was at my worst, and it was it was hell. I can laugh about it now, but it was hell. Being on the streets, being homeless, seeing the lost souls out there. They was tremendously lost, whether it was from depression, addiction, or just situations to get them to be out there. Mainly addiction, though. And just seeing how people have given up on life. And these are people. These are humans. These are souls. And by me being who I was in the way that I was raised, I actually chose to be out there because I continued to just do drugs. Even though it was the compulsion and the obsession was there, I didn't know how to stop. But one thing that my higher power has done for me, he's always kept this pretty sharp. And I remember how it used to be. And it's just pressing. So as I'm telling Cody all this, and we have went through the things of how we met, he was like, the biggest thing was when I told him these things, he actually helped out someone one day. And I'm going to let Cody tell you how he helped the lady out that day.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say the only reason me and him were actually having a discussion about this, I really didn't want to say anything because I feel like it's kind of counterproductive. I wouldn't even use the word counterproductive, but it just seems like you're putting yourself on a pedestal or trying to expose yourself in a positive light if you help somebody and then publicize it. So I really I don't recommend people to do that, and I don't endorse the idea of doing that. But what I'm going to say now is just for the purpose of explaining how we came to this and how we decided to do this together. So, I mean, really, it was a simple story of I seen somebody struggling on the side of the road. A lady was holding up a sign. It was probably 50 degrees, 45 degrees outside. It was freezing cold. I stopped on the side of the road. It really hurt me to see that there was traffic that day. I mean, people were in and out of the Home Depot parking lot, which is where she was, and they were just driving right past this lady. They didn't even acknowledge her. I mean, it was freezing cold. So I stopped on the side of the road, and I gave her $20. And I thought that was okay, so I started driving off, but for some reason I felt compelled to go back. I went back, and I didn't have any more money to give her, but I looked in the back seat, and I saw my coat. I mean, it was just a simple, coat from Walmart. It didn't mean anything to me, but I knew that it would mean something to her, because it was freezing cold. She was outside doing what she had to do. Who knows why, but I've seen 1,000 homeless people in my life, and I've never felt so compelled to stop and help. So, I just did. I just did.
And I would like to add that Cody's from Panama City, so 45 degrees to him is probably like 20 to us.
Yeah.
And he was cold,
I was freezing.
At 45 degrees. And it was just the fact that when he told me this story, after I was explaining to him how I help people, to the fact that I just help and I don't need it put on via Facebook, Instagram, or anything like that. I don't even want people to notice me if I ever help them. Really don't even want the people to acknowledge me after I help them. I was taught this through several people of watching them also. Of course, people are going to see you help occasionally, but that ain't the point. The point is that you help with a giving heart, a truly happy heart. Give happily, meaning that you give without motives. You help people without motives, and that's what triggered us to be doing just this. And the first thing that we could do is help people by our experiences, in telling people what we go through, and that's what we're going to start doing as topics. So we need all the comments or ideas that y'all have out there, what we can discuss,
and even circumstances. Like if you're going through something and you don't know how to resolve it, send us an anonymous comment. We will not say names. We will not say anything. We'll just try to help resolve it using the rules in the best way that we possibly can.
Right, and it's not like that we got any credentials. One thing I do have that I live out is my experiences. I've experienced a tremendous amount out there. I feel like I've lived 4 or 5 different lives, from being here to here to here, the very bottom. So it's not that we know everything. And if we don't know it, we just don't know it. I'm not gonna talk about something that I hadn't had an experience with. So that's where we're at. This thing is our platform. One day I want to be a motivational speaker, and I'm just getting used to the camera, getting used to talking, and I want to inspire and encourage people out of that state of existence. Because when you start living again and able to shine your light and have that diamond soul, and I know a few people that I see that in. I seen it in Cody that day. A young lady that I befriended that I call my daughter, I see it in her every time I turn around. She's helping someone get through some type of situation, whether if it's a ride or a bottle of water, or just a friendly smile. Being able to give back, especially me, being able to give back what's so freely been given to me. And I live today. I have a life today. I'm generally happy today. And and I go through normal stuff. And I do my best to keep a positive attitude, no matter what I go through in life. That way I can be open to see who the God of my understanding puts in my path to help. And it just may be a kind word or listening.
Yeah, and none of this is random. I mean, you meet people along the way. They're in your trajectory for a reason. They're in your life for a reason. It's up to you to decide what that reason is. And honestly, me and him have talked about this. It's like, yes, he comes from a dark place, but because he comes from a dark place, he can help people to understand why it is so important to get out of that place and why your life is worth it, and why, even the best day sober is better than, or even the worst day sober is better than the best day on drugs, and we, like he said, we don't have any credentials, but we talk about this stuff all the time. We think about it constantly. I know, at least I do.
Yes, most definitely. Because I have the experiences, of course. I live my life a day at a time. So, and I must take it day by day, a lot of days. Because I feel like I have a disease. We're not trying to get into that controversy of saying if addiction is a disease or not. It's just what I believe in. That I think differently when I'm on any type of substances. So therefore, I have a different personality. Some people could use my drug of choice and go home. I use my drug of choice. I'm liable to be stuck somewhere for years. I mean, it's just how it is. At least I know that about myself today, and I don't have to put in or use drugs. So, it's just what it is. And we're here, and this is the beginning of something a whole lot greater that we have expectations about. So it's okay. We're going to be here. We're going to be doing this until it takes its course. And we hope the God of our understanding blesses it, because we're in it for the right reasons. We're in it for we have the right heart for it, and we don't have no motives behind it.
And we want you guys to really submit your problems and submit things to us. We really want to help. We want to reach out to the community around us first and foremost. We have plans for the future, like he just said. We plan on doing talks. We plan on doing charities. We plan on doing all these things. But first, we need to build our community. And we want as many people to help with this as possible. If anybody out there listening to this wants to make their own videos and submit them, we will put them on the Diamond Souls Love page with no hesitation. If we deem it lining up with our goals and what we believe in. So we really encourage everybody to share this, to like it, to be a part of it. We really want everybody to come along and be a part of it, because we don't see anything bad that can come of this. Everything that we're doing, all of the rules are pure of heart. We talked about them. And another thing is, before we started this podcast, we talked about these things for 2 months at least. I'm talking every day. We talked about each rule for about a week at a time. We would go home. We would think about it. We would come back. We would discuss amongst each other. I mean, these ideas are really well thought out, even if we couldn't execute exactly what we were thinking when we came up with the rules in the first place on the podcast. Of course, we'll have plenty of time to really solidify what we mean by each rule, but we've thought that these 12 rules were the absolute best things that you can implement into your life to really make a positive change.
Yeah, so y'all out there, please support, please comment, give us some ideas, and much love.
Much love.
Diamond
Souls.
Love.
See you guys next Sunday.